Now, you made a tweet saying that players shouldn't have sex 9 months before a major.
Yeah.
Now-
Or condoms. This would be a perfect place, like for a condom sponsorship.
Now, I know that
this could be our pitch.
Now, see, this is one that we could get.
Yeah.
Suitcases, no. Condoms, yes.
Condoms, yes. Like if we get like a Durex, strong and durable, so that you can be a champion on and off the server.
And if they're strong enough condoms, you could inflate them to a size they could act as a mini bag. So we could take over the suitcase market too.
with condoms.
Yeah. I noticed you had the sign on your door that says plant a tree.
Plant a tree. I'm planning on planting like 15 trees at this event, 16 trees.
How does it work?
Once per day, if you have that sign out, they don't come in and clean the room and do the maid service, and they plant a tree instead.
How do we know they plant the tree?
I have no clue. But
we're taking their word for it.
I think it's like a Scouts Honor kind of situation. I think the idea is that you can trust someone who says they're going to plant a tree because it's such a wholesome thing to do.
Okay.
I think you're just supposed to, implicitly have faith that the tree is being planted.
But what if this is a move by big housekeeping? Right? So they do less work. They're
still
all
get paid
fake
the same.
signs. They're all fake signs. No trees are planted.
In fact, it's kind of like negative trees at that point because they're using trees for the signs.
Yeah. And they're still getting paid.
These motherfuckers.
So it's big housekeeping, really, at its absolute most maniacal.
Yeah, it's crazy the way they've infested the structure of the hotel industry.
I've also have to come clean. There's a new phenomenon going around. It's like catfishing, but coffee fishing.
Coffee fishing.
And only exists first thing in the morning in Budapest. I went to go to the Starbucks, which is next to the hotel.
Yeah.
So I've just gone down. I've walked outside. It's cold. Just trotting along. And I see like chairs outside and there's a door and the Starbucks sign. And then I turn in. And I go in and there's no Starbucks branding inside. And I'm thinking to myself, well, this isn't Starbucks, but they sell coffee. So then...
Actually, now that I think about it, yeah, it doesn't have Starbucks logo on it.
So I go in and I order the cortado, a little bit bewildered, and the woman takes my order and she goes, take away. And I'm like, yeah. And then I'm like, it just doesn't feel right. Like yesterday, I swear there was a Starbucks. Like I even saw the sign as I walked in here.
Yeah.
As I left, I looked to my left, and the Starbucks is right next door to another cafe.
Oh, so you just walked into the wrong coffee shop.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But I was like, the other, I don't know if Starbucks would have been better or worse than this, but this is still doing the job. But I went out getting Starbucks, came back with name brands.
Well, it kind of tastes more like coffee than a milkshake, so it's probably not Starbucks, which is there, So there's that factor to it. I wonder how much of their business comes from people mistakenly walking into the wrong coffee shop.
Yeah, and once you're in, it's one of those things where you don't really feel like you could, because it's just, I want
like,
the same
it looks
thing.
nice in here, but actually I was looking for your competitor.
Yeah, and like a massive chain around the globe, and then they have branding, and you have nothing.
Yeah, support local.
Yeah, so I bought a coffee from a shop next to Starbucks, which is, it's doing the job.
And all that matters is the friends you make along the way. So you had a great time with the barista, I'm sure. I made a friend on my travel here.
Okay,
at
on the airplane?
No, at the Amsterdam airport, I had like a 3-hour layover. And what I do, especially after the long hauls, is like 30 minutes before my flight, I'm just kind of like 30 minutes before boarding, I'm just pacing the airport, right? I'm moving because I just sat for like 8 hours, so I'm just walking in circles. And one of the hotel staff who carries airport staff who does like the wheelchairs for people who can't get around the airport very quickly and just general stuff. He recognized me. He's a Counter-Strike fan.
Oh, no.
And so him and I just did laps up and down the concourse for like 15 minutes just talking about Counter-Strike.
Okay.
I was like, thank you. You've actually broken up the monotony.
Was he pushing people in wheelchairs?
He did get pulled away a couple times to help a few people. Just advice of where to find this gate, where this flight is going, where this concourse is, all that good jazz. He was doing great.
Wait, so he's like big housekeeping. He wasn't working either.
No, he was, I think that was like his little cigarette break or something, like that's the kind of excuse that in his mind,
Did he have a pick for the major?
He's an Astralis fan, unfortunately.
Oh.
So we talked about that. And then he wanted Spirit to do well, and I kind of laughed at him for that one. But overall, good guy.
Yeah, fair enough.
He gave me this thing. He wants me to wear this on the broadcast. I'm going to wear this one.
What is this?
It's a pin.
Yep.
It's a dog in a bed.
Does it have any significance?
Probably to him.
Okay.
I didn't ask that question. He just said it would mean a lot if you wore this on the broadcast one day.
You know what? You could be getting involved in a crazy ring, like
I know, but I'm kind of into that. I'm kind of up for it.
Okay.
Depending on the kind of ring it would be, obviously. But like, you know, I want the excitement. I want to know, you know, if that would be cool if there's like this unknown entity or like, you know, lifestyle that I just kind of stepped into unknowingly.
Okay, so the end of this bed, there appears to be some rocks and some foliage.
Yeah, he's got like
sleeping
a
with
stuffed lizard, I think he's sleeping.
Yeah,
Sorry.
lizard. But I would say they're one and the same.
Sure.
Snot bubble coming out of nose, and
It's
either
classic.
I don't know if that's an orange or an apple. The color would indicate orange, but I'm gonna go with orange. I'm gonna go with orange. And
I'd say, you know, the orange is one of those fruits. If the color indicates it's an orange.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of the namesake of the whole thing.
Sure.
So okay, so you have a 3-hour layover in Amsterdam. That's all right. 3 hours.
It's not terrible. Well, it was nice because I actually went. I left on Thursday, but I went to New York Thursday night because I did the Liquid Business Conference.
You confused me because I rejoined the Discord, which would probably be temporary.
It confused me also. Yeah.
When I saw the images, and I was like, "Why is Jason already there? Like, we don't have to be there for a couple of days." And I was like, "Why is he here?" And I just took those pictures as if you were here, but you weren't here.
So you believe like that was the hotel?
Or it could have been any hotel, but I didn't know what our
Yeah.
hotel was going to look like.
Yeah, sure.
So and you didn't really add any context to it.
No, I didn't. It was very Spartan. I did like 4 days of solo parenting, so like my brain was a little bit fried to a certain extent. So I just flew out to New York, did less than 24 hours there, hosted a couple business panels, and then flew here. So it wasn't bad because I actually only had a one-stop trip, which is fucking sweet.
I just have a big, I have a bit of a smile on my face because you said 4 days of solo parenting, and I just imagine like if Jane would even bother listening to this podcast ever, she'd just hear that and just go, "This motherfucker."
Yeah, I know. She's like, well, here I am on like my 5th 2-week-long stint.
1/3 of the year I'm doing solo parenting. But we all love Pink Pony Club.
Pink Pony Club. It's the song. It's a hit song of the winter,
The
2025.
generation.
Yeah,
The kids are loving it.
great music video as well.
The kids
Really,
love it, yeah.
really throw that one
Yeah.
up on the screen.
I'm trying to think. Did I have anything fun? I did 4 consecutive days of 10 to 12 hours worth of filming.
Oh yeah, you were doing the new. I don't know if we're
It's
allowed
called
to-
the Dispatch. Yeah, we can
Yeah,
they're
okay,
tweeting
no.
about it and shit. We're doing some stuff there. It feels like we're doing, more of an action film than a comedy these days.
This is the second, I guess, quote unquote season, as you guys would call it.
Yeah.
And this is normally when shit goes off the rails. Like the pilot season is kind of like, let's see if this works, and then it works, and then they're like, all right, you get a little bit more freedom.
Next season, I want to jump the shark.
Okay,
I don't really
next
know what that means.
We're jumping the shit. It means you're just like you've just created an entity that just doesn't make sense anymore. Like you're just kind of going with things.
Yeah, well, that already is the case.
It comes from what was the movie with the Fonz, or the TV show with the Fonz? I forget what that TV show is called. It's from like the 70s or 80s. But in like the 7th or 8th season of that, they have an episode where he's
Happy Days.
Happy Days, that's the one. In like one of the later seasons, they have an episode where he's water skiing behind a boat and a shark pops up to try and eat him, and he jumps over it.
Perfect.
So that's the phrase of "jump the shark." Is like, okay, this show's just gone so off the rails that it no longer makes sense.
We could do that. We could actually jump the shark too. I don't know if we maybe get an animatronic shark.
Sure, that's what they did in Jaws.
I don't really like sharks.
I'm not a huge shark fan either.
Sharks are probably the only thing I'm not a huge fan of.
Well, it
Other
makes sense
things
being Australian as well. You've probably got a lot of stories.
Spiders and snakes, whatever, they're all right.
Yeah, they
I don't
chill.
love them, but sharks can eat you whole.
Yeah, sharks can really.
Nobody wants that.
No.
We did that. We had Frankie was there, Cadian came in, Donna was a guest, Henry G rocked up.
Yeah.
Yep. So we were doing that. That was 4 days worth of just non-stop nonsense, which I think we're still probably recovering from.
Yeah.
And then yesterday was a travel day. But last night when I got into bed, I was like, I just feel like I got out of bed. It was one of those days where everything
Sure.
was so smooth that it felt like nothing happened.
Okay.
Even though a lot did happen.
That's kind of a cool feeling, though.
We went out, we had food, beef goulash.
Yeah, we gotta get some of the taste of local delicacy.
Yep. It was a little bit, it is cold.
It's chilly. It was rainy last night as well, so it's gonna be a wet, rainy major.
Today looks nicer.
Today looks great. I'm gonna be doing media for about 9 hours today.
Yeah. I don't have any of that today.
Must be nice.
I'm in a good spot. I just have to go and do some form of briefing / rehearsal.
Yeah.
So we're in the sports park for the first 3 stages, and then the MVM Dome for the
Final
playoffs.
playoff stage.
Yeah, I drove past the MVM Dome on the way in. I'd never been here before.
Okay. I've been here. I went to 2 of those V4 Future festivals.
Okay.
Those were kind of cool, but I didn't see the city a whole lot at the time.
I want to go do the thermal baths.
I do too. Those look fun.
I don't know. It does feel weird being in a giant body of water with a lot of other humans. Now, I know that...
No sharks though.
True.
It's a positive.
maybe different type of sharks.
Yeah, that's fair. What are you worried about with all the different people?
You
just don't like people?
It's like people soup.
Sure, I see what you mean.
And
Like,
some
you're probably
people-
sitting there being like, "This is the same water for the past week. It's kind of dirty."
Where you would hope that there's
It gets
some
filtered
form
out.
of.
Well, the ancient Romans figured that out in their bathhouses, so I think we have the modern
Did
technology.
they?
Yeah.
What happened to the Romans, Jason?
Well, they eventually die out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, their bathhouses had a little bit of a system to it. To change your water.
Irrigation.
Yeah,
I'm
irrigation.
a plumber. I should know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
aqueducts is
Was
the
a
big
plumber.
thing that they did. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I want to go see some of this. It looked like I learned from the shuttle guy yesterday that this place was communist until the 90s.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the 1900s. I'm
Yeah,
talking
the
about
political history
1990s.
eludes me of this place.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Alex and I were intently listening to our driver. His name was Matthew. He was 23 years of age. He does music.
Matthew.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another Matthew.
I imagine there's probably some pronunciation there that I'm not quite nailing in terms of how you.
Do you think he softened it for the English speakers?
I don't know. I think his English was fantastic.
Okay,
So
that's good.
he was on top of his shit. He didn't have any qualms whatsoever going on.
I actually love Budapest. Ever since I was here for those V4 events, it's been one of the cities I list is one of the most beautiful ones I've been to.
Really?
Yeah, like the city when you're along the river and just kind of looking over it at the architecture and the government buildings and the big ass buildings. It's just beautiful. I've been like down in the city when like the church bells are ringing and sunset and it's just like great.
Okay. Well, last night we couldn't really see anything.
No, it's dark and yeah.
I don't know if I'll go. Maybe we'll go venturing today. Maybe it could be worth a walk because we're not too far away. So we're in a different.
You got to do
hotel.
something today.
Yeah, well, I think 5 or 4:30 p.m. on that. So I have a long day ahead of me of nothing. But yeah, we're in a different hotel to the players, which is fine. Like,
We're not too far off.
no, and like also at the same time, it's like we're gonna see them at the venue every day and stuff anyway. So I'm sure. And one of the things is when you're in a hotel with players, all of the amenities like. When you're at breakfast, it's chock-a-block. When you're at the gym, it's just fucking full. The lifts are
The
constantly
Wi-Fi is always fucking busy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there are some positives, but hotel's nice, bed's nice. It's good not to be a Nordic hotel where the fucking 2 single beds. You actually have one proper normal human sized bed.
And blanket, human-sized blanket as
That's
well,
true, too.
which is key. I think more so than the split mattresses. The single large blanket is fucking god tier.
One of those pillows was quite weighty. Maybe 2
Yeah,
of
there's
the
like a
4.
heavy pillow in there. Yeah, they mix it up.
Yeah, I like that.
That's a good
We're
system.
getting some variety going on here. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that's really been happening.
Well, I mean, speaking of big housekeeping, we have some housekeeping that we can address as we go along.
Okay.
Well,
How many trees?
First and foremost is you won't. This doesn't affect us in any way. New graphics.
Okay.
We have new graphics at the moment.
Like right now.
Yeah, right now, all around the border is going to be new graphics.
Okay, you know I love aesthetics.
You are a big aesthetic fan. So yeah, we have new graphics, which is cool.
Okay.
So I got like a whole bunch of different, like a package made of different things that we can do. So
How much money do we need to give you?
not much.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a good price.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheap price.
Yeah, a man named Shub.
Okay.
Yeah, he helped
Nice.
out. Yeah.
Shoe.
Yeah, Shub
Okay.
with a B at the end. Yeah.
Okay.
Former,
Shub.
yeah, I've gone through. I've gotten all my like former Liquid contacts. So we have like a video editor is a former Liquid guy. Shub is a former Liquid guy, graphics guy. So
They know we can't pay liquid prices, right?
yeah, they know we can't pay
Okay.
Liquid prices.
Just a couple of guys.
Not yet, at least. They're banking for the future, though. I believe.
And that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a long play.
sometimes you pick and you just hope they turn into a butterfly.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
lovely.
I gotta call him Shuby.
Shuby?
Is that fine?
I don't think he'd mind. He didn't strike me as the kind of fella who would mind Shuby.
It just seems to roll off the tongue.
The second little piece of information is a cool announcement. Obviously, we're going to be doing something with Wooting again.
Nice.
Yeah, so we have another partnership and collaboration with Wooting going on here at the Major as we did back at Cologne, which is perfect timing. They just announced they've just gotten into partnering with Team, so they're sponsoring M80 here at the Major.
I did see that. Yeah.
And then the other big news for them is launching of the new keyboard, one of which we're going to have to give away here we're going to have a Discord activation later on in the Major that we'll have set up and everything. And the new keyboard is kind of crazy. We are physically going to have one. It's just the way schedule worked. We had to get this out of the way really, really early today. But the new keyboard is kind of cool. The spacebar is broken up.
Okay.
Like the spacebar now turns in from one long spacebar into like 3 buttons.
I envisioned like 3 different things when you said broken up in my mind. I was like is it cracked in half? Like, are we giving away faulty materials, Jason?
I'll put a video in here with
why would that be
the new
cool?
graphics. Because when you think about it, so like this is why it was kind of cool. When you think about it, the opposable thumb is what separates us from the beast, right? So you have a lot more
Yes.
flexibility in what you can do with your thumbs if you only had more buttons for it to hit. I mean, you can do that Alt key, you can do that space bar, but the space bar is one big one. So now if you break it up into a couple, you have almost like 2 space bars for each thumb. I mean, you can't obviously do that with the mouse, but when you're typing, but then you have like an extra button that you can utilize for anything. It can be bound to utility.
Why is the space bar
It can
key
be
so
bound
big?
for that exactly. This is the problem that Wooting is trying to solve, and it's a problem that none of us knew existed until they came along.
Do you know how good this actually is though for a man like me? So these days, most people are on push to talk. Sorry, not push to talk, voice activation. But back in my day, when I was a push to talk user, I was one of very few human beings who would use spacebar as my push to talk button.
Okay.
And the reason I would do that is because as an in-game leader, you're talking a lot, right?
Sure.
So, you want a key that's easy to access.
Yeah.
And the spacebar, you're bang on. There's nowhere easier than your thumb making it there. That would actually be good because then, because I have some like funky keys for nades that I did because it's like I should have nade binds.
Yeah.
But there was nowhere that felt intuitive.
Yeah.
The spacebar would actually be like intuitive. Like I just go like over far to the right if I wanted to go, let's say smoke, closer for the molly. Yeah, I actually, and then in the middle for the space and push to talk and jump.
I'm really curious to like tinker with it and what's going to be. Is it because like my brain is kind of like like a nade usage would be really cool there. Just like pull out a quick Molotov when you're in some shit, But like there's going to be some other things that come out. I'm wondering. We had this back in the day. I'm wondering if this could revive it. This is going to sound crazy. There used to be a pro in NA who was really really good. He shot with the spacebar. Doesn't
Messi do that?
Does he do that?
I think so.
Messi's a spacebar shooter? There's not many of them out there in the wild.
Well, because I know he uses like mouse. Isn't a mouse one to go forward? He has like
Steal
Quake.
binds. I know he has some fucked up binds. I don't know.
So
exactly
I don't know.
what they
Maybe
are.
spacebar isn't a shoot, but either way.
Yeah. But like the logic behind that is it's a lot more like stable. Like if you're shooting and gripping your mouse and shooting at the same time, the logic is like you might grip it, you might shake it, but the space bar is just like there's no actual handshaking when you shoot.
Yeah, the concept.
Now the feedback for recoil might be a little weird. Like pulling down with your right hand while you're shooting with the space bar could be fucking odd.
I think for us because we're not used to it.
Right.
But in terms of like, I think it would still be the same intuitive. Well, maybe not.
I mean, no
intuitive.
matter what thing you bind there, it's going to take a remapping of your muscle memory. Right?
Yes.
But it's kind of a cool. I just think it's really cool to see because you essentially have 2 more buttons now instead of just one big space bar.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So it's Wooting, X Talk Encounter, X Major.
X Major, yeah. X
Major.
Budapest, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a party.
So more stuff in the Discord. What are we doing? Are we doing a video? What are we doing? What do people have to do?
We haven't figured that out. We're the activation will probably be during stage 3.
Okay, so
We're
we still got time to work it
waiting
out.
for the big dogs to come in. I didn't want to do a meme competition again. You know what I mean? That one fell flat last time.
It did?
It felt we felt like it fell flat, didn't we?
I don't know. I don't really feel anything.
Okay. Well, we need to come up with a Discord activation for that keyboard giveaway. So if you guys have any thoughts, if you in the Discord have something easy that you would like to win,
We could just do a raffle.
Yeah, we could just do a raffle. I thought about doing it like pick'ems based, and saying like if you get X
If you're
amount of pick'ems
alive
correct,
by stage 3, or we would do it after the major.
I'd think like stage 3 would be kind of like, okay, have your pick'ems for stage 3, and then if you get like 6 of 8 correct, your name enters the raffle.
Here's the problem.
Yeah.
Oh, for stage 3 only. Yeah, okay. I was gonna say because because the major starts tomorrow.
Yes.
So if it was anything to do with stage 1 pick'ems, we'd be in a bit of strife.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to kind of avoid stage 1 in terms of anything to do with the pick'ems.
Okay.
We could do stage 2 as well. I mean, I'm not opposed to that. We could do stage 2
I
and
think
3.
you could be right. Like stage 3 is where most people will start finding interest.
Yeah.
So submissions into stage 3 would be your entry, and then it would be narrowed down to a pool of people who got X are correct, and then we just draw.
Yeah.
That seems fair.
Yeah, I just have to figure out how I'd organize that through Discord, right? Like, I don't want to have to be going through like individual screenshots of 400 submissions and being like, yep, you got 6, yep, you got 7. So yeah, we got some things to work out.
It's a good point.
We got some things coming in the pipelines, and obviously super happy to be working with Wooting again. And we're gonna have some fun with it. We're gonna get that keyboard, and I'm gonna be testing it sometime all week.
Yeah, nice. I didn't bring any of my peripherals for this string of events, which is a bit sad because
We don't have a PC, so it's not the biggest,
Yes.
What are we going to do, stare at them all day?
True, but it's also like I'm kind of on the road for like 8 weeks now. And when I say on the road, it's not like so I went from Malta to London, did the filming here for the 3 weeks for the major. Then I'm going back to Australia for 3 weeks. But then from Australia, it's going to be to Serbia for the award show. So it's not like I even go straight back to Malta after that. But it's like I don't have any need for any of these peripherals for a long time, which is really sad because it's like that means no Counter-Strike for that long.
Yeah.
So you know.
Yeah, that's hard. But I mean, at the same time, it does suck lugging those peripherals around for 8 weeks if you don't have the PC.
And my suitcase is already 25 kilos.
Yeah.
And it's missing a wheel.
And it's missing. Oh, you need a new suitcase.
Or I need a new wheel.
Or you need a new wheel. When's the last time you got a new suitcase?
Yeah, come on, Jason. Surely I can get a new wheel.
Yeah, but
It's a Samsonite case. I'll just roll into Samsonite and say, yo.
I went. My suitcase broke, and I went and just bought a new. I got the Cadillac of suitcase. I don't know if that still works as a comparison. I think
That
that's
doesn't
kind
look
of
like the Cadillac of anything.
It's kind of. I know, but that's kind of the beauty of it. It's it's very nondescript.
It looks like a soft
Look,
case.
it's got a lifetime warranty. If any wheel breaks, I send it in. They send it right back.
Where's it from?
Well, they're not sponsored, so we can't really say them.
Why
But
not?
it's a Briggs and Riley.
Well, you think we're going to get sponsored by a suitcase?
I
don't we?
think there's potential there. I think no one's ever tried it before.
We've only ever had Wooting. Shout out to Wooting.
Who's better for a luggage than us? Who's a luggage salesman better than we are?
Formula One drivers.
All right,
Brad Pitt.
Yeah, fair play.
They were just off the top of my head. And then they could have said the same thing. I thought Formula One, which is a sport I don't watch. Then thought Formula One movie, thought Brad Pitt.
Just a little insight now your brain functions.
Nico,
Yeah, maybe.
right? So there's a couple people.
All right, well, you really just shot ourselves in the foot there with that one.
No, well, look, I would gladly have a suitcase sponsorship, but I'm just living in the world of reality right now, Jason. I think we're not going to have them. So yeah, is that real water?
I don't know.
I don't want it.
You don't want it?
Shit. Someone in the comments will say, "Why are they fucking moving the fucking microphones around?"
Yeah.
Man?
Actually,
Guys,
I'm not even going to put the glass on the table.
yeah, but guys, we're in a hotel. Like, I can't travel with a fold-out table, man. Like, this is it. This is the table. You know what you could do on this table? Not a lot.
No.
You can't even put 2 microphones comfortably on this table. And if I did, I'd have to lean in all weird and shit. Then my back would be fucked. Guys, I'm sorry. You know what we could do? We could get those little. What do you recommend? Those little clip-on mics? Are they any?
Yeah. I've heard they're good. Yeah, we could try it.
Because then imagine not having to lug this shit around.
That'd actually be pretty sweet.
They'd have to be good quality, and they'd have to last for 1 to 2 hours.
Yeah, which I think they should do.
I know when I did one with Freya, I think I was wearing a clip on.
Yeah,
that was even a while.
Yeah,
ago.
when her podcasts are like a time capsule one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was too.
I'll buy them.
Let's look into it first. Let's make sure they last 2 hours. 2 hours is a minimum.
I'll look into it. Who do we know knows audio?
We know a lot of people who know audio.
Audio Jesus.
Audio Jesus is a big one.
He'd be a good one to talk to.
He'd probably help out. Yeah, he'd love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk to Audio Jesus.
He is Canadian, though.
Shifty folk.
They're slippery.
Yeah.
They are slippery. And that's coming from an American. He knows better than anybody.
From Michigan as well, so we're right there with the Canadians.
Yeah, well, in a way.
In a way.
You guys are fighting the same fight.
Shall we get This is stage 1 of the major.
Shout out to New Jersey. 22 nights from now until the major's over.
22 nights.
From this moment.
It's like a Harrison Ford movie.
The only reason I know that is when I checked in yesterday, the lovely lady at the counter goes, "Oh, here for 23 nights?" And I was like, "Yes."
And you're like, "Oh, don't say the number out loud, miss, please."
Well, days are days.
Yeah.
And every day there'll be Counter-Strike, besides the days there's not, which is like today. So today's what? It's a media day. You have some media to do.
Yeah, I'm going in, we got the rehearsal at like around noon and tech check and everything, and then like 5 hours of
So
media.
you go do tech and then you go and do...
Yeah, we do like rehearsal into tech, into lunch, into...
Oh, into lunch.
Into media.
It's a scheduled lunch.
Yeah, it's a scheduled lunch.
You will be eating.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you won't be working.
Then you'll just be sitting there like staring at the wall for an hour.
You'll be hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this is one thing with the shooting that we did quickly, and then we'll get to the Counter-Strike. It's so weird to work in a space of entertainment where they have to have a mandatory 1 hour lunch break where nobody can physically do any work within that time period because of unions and shit.
This is what we talked about when we talked
baffling.
about like the last episode we touched on like the New York event. We've talked about a couple times like good doing events in New York is always like there's union. Same with Chicago, which is why it's hard for ESL to pull those events off. But anytime you do an event in like the Union City, we always hear the complaints of like because esports people are just fucking grinders. Like head down 15, 16-hour days is a normal thing to occur. And the esports people lose their shit when there's like a mandated like 2 hour.
But you got to get some electrician in to plug the thing into the fucking wall.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you can't do that. What do you mean I can't fucking do it? You might overload the power board.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, only certified people are allowed to plug in the electricity.
Yeah, and that's how we guarantee that people keep getting paid. But look, yeah, okay. Let's get into this.
Fucking anti-union fucking podcast is unbelievable.
Yeah, man. No, I'm sure unions are fine. And also, when Jason said people work like 12 to 16 hour days, not us. Not us at all.
But shout out to those people.
But we do watch the Counter-Strike for 12. In a way, you could say that's work. If you
Some kind of work.
if you wanted the community to hate you could call it work. So there's the big one, the hot button topic at the moment, I would say, is about this whole co-streaming situation. Have you gotten to the bottom of it? Because
I haven't gotten to the bottom. Let me. Do you know it? Because I was gonna say, let me outline what I think is going on.
I have no idea what's going on.
Okay, so
I've only got the peripheries of it.
Okay, so as far as I know, the co-streaming is, well, the way it's kind of working at the moment, because Twitch have all those new gambling regulations, is you can show the visual logo and name, but you can't verbally discuss it.
So
on Twitch.
We shouldn't say the name
now. So talent should not be saying, well, we're not on Twitch. So I don't
but we're on YouTube. I saw Duncan was saying shit got taken down. They was just discussing skin
Okay,
stuff.
well, let's not say it then. I have no idea. But I don't know what the rules would be on YouTube, because they also changed all their gambling stuff recently as well. So all that stuff is really up in the air for me. But as far as I know with the co-streaming thing, it's there's co-streamers on Kick, but you're not allowed to co-stream on Twitch, is what I saw.
I think some people are getting permissions to co-stream on Twitch.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Because I just know the tournament, we can't say it verbally on Twitch, the name of the sponsor, of the lead sponsor. You can co-stream on Kick, but I don't know, like that was the whole drama, was like Twitch, like Tweeday got like accepted and rejected all at the same time. I saw that tweet from him.
Well, I guess we could have a look, right? Because I imagine it's a constantly shifting
ecosystem.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. So, because there was conversation in the lead up. Well, fuck it. Well, let's just baseless claims.
Yeah, baseless claims. It's way better anyways.
There was conversation in the lead up, and I'd heard some things that, like, not that it was going to be Twitch exclusive, Kick exclusive, but that there was going to be a scenario where it would be live on Kick, and then it would be delayed on other platforms.
It's a 3 or a 5 minute delay, I think, on Twitch.
Is that still the case?
Last I saw, but I haven't updated myself in about 3 days of the co-streaming situation.
Okay, I wish we had a co-streaming expert. Do we know anyone who could get on?
Flom, although he might be sleeping.
I imagine he would be.
Tweeday.
I know Donna's on top of her shit, but
you want to give Donna a call?
Yeah, hey Donna.
Hey, you're live on air. You could just spill all the beans.
A rundown right now on the.
You're not really working with any kind of a big streamer these days.
No.
Okay. Yeah, sweet.
No, but I know Donna's on top of the shit there, because we were talking about it when she was in London, but it was still fluid at that time, and I imagine it's still fluid now.
I have to imagine they'd be, with the initial outrage of how things were playing out, there'd be some movement on trying to find a solution.
Well, this is what I guess creates the broader topic. So, like, other than us not understanding exactly what the situation is, which, to be fair, it doesn't affect us because we have been hired to just deliver the broadcast, right? So, but what affects us is the community, which is what we are also a part of. Now, we've had this, I wouldn't call it a battle, but I would call it like a little pain point for as long as I can remember, right? When I first shifted from, I guess the history of all of this is like the way that Counter-Strike used to be broadcast back in the day was like there'd be a Winamp link and you could watch in.
You would listen on Winamp and watch NHL TV and hopefully, and then you'd pause the Winamp to sync it up.
Yes,
that's really old school.
Yes, and then there would be other stuff where you would watch on the scoreboard on IRC, which is essentially what HLTV have as their feed, right? And because sometimes there wasn't IPs, and then as we like slowly moved in, and there was different ways of streaming, like Justin TV and everything like that, right? And then Twitch was the one that broke ground within the space. That's why it was the first of its generation, right?
Yep.
And then since then, everyone else has been attempting to play catch up. But one of the big issues we had as a pressure point earlier was people were like, I don't want to watch on anything other than Twitch because my community of emotes and people spamming in Twitch chat, people were hesitant to change there. Then we obviously had a Facebook era, which that one was fair enough because Facebook was fucking clunky as hell, right?
Yeah.
We were doing the Pro League and stuff, and no one was watching. You know, you go on live, there's 30 people.
That was so depressing.
Yeah, but the reason that companies took those deals is because those companies were offering money to try and bring viewership to their platform, right? So from a business perspective, I don't think that's too much of a leap for people to understand. Now, in the modern day, we had things that happened over the years, like Mixer and stuff, when Shroud had that deal and Ninja and everything like that, and they didn't take off because either Twitch was too big and you couldn't fight that, or, you know...
No, but shout out to Mixer. Somebody had to break the dam, you know?
Yeah, but...
They came in, they broke the dam, and they left.
YouTube kind of shot themselves in the foot to start off with because they segmented it. They made it like YouTube gaming or whatever, right? As opposed to just making it part of the main platform. I would say that these days, YouTube is a superior viewing experience than Twitch.
I agree.
Based off of quality and the ability to rewind and everything like that. I have less issues also like Chromecasting YouTube, which makes sense based on the ecosystem and everything along those lines. And now in the modern game, we have Kick, and people don't like Kick for a bunch of different reasons, right? So I think that Kick are still getting there in terms of their functionality for like Chromecasting and stuff, which you know, you can download the app and you can do that, but it's still a little bit more clunky. Obviously, they're trying to build more of a user base there. They've signed some bigger streamers to do stuff over there, like XQC and whatnot. But then there's the whole fact that Kick is a little bit more of the Wild West. It's like early days of a Twitch or whatever, right? Where they didn't have the same regulations regarding the Gamba stuff or all those things. Whereas Kick,
I mean, playing catch up, they have a lot more freedom in how they're able to tackle different situations and handle situations.
And I guess the thing is, you know, what type of responsibility does a streaming platform have, which is a whole different conversation for a whole different day, really. Because essentially all of these platforms that we're talking about are just a medium for people who create content to be able to get that content out there to the rest of the world. Now, how much they want to curtail things is completely up to them, and it's based off of, I guess, the people that use their platform and control their platform being sponsors and everything. And the reason that Kick probably isn't so beholden to that is because a lot of their backing is based off of being part of this conglomerate with stake and everything, if I understand correctly, right? And people at the moment are really not liking that, right? You're seeing a lot of pushback on that from the Counter-Strike community. And the reason I kind of have told this history is like, it's not that we haven't been here before. My takeaway with all of this, and it's something which, you know, HLTV is sponsored by Stake, and we stream the Confirmed podcast on Kick. Now, the reason that I understand that they're doing that is that Stake and Kick are willing to give money to have that product. And I get that kind of disrupts the way that people consume said product, right? Which is jarring to them as a consumer. But as, you know, a business, which is what it is,
makes complete sense,
right? So that we're kind of hitting this head, right? And it's like everything in life, where if you don't like something, you don't have. Well, not everything. Some things in life, if you don't like it, you still have to do it.
Still kind of gotta
like
it.
People have to go to school.
You got to tank it to the dome.
Kind of sucks. But in this situation, you can kind of vote with your feet, which is a term that we've been using a lot lately, based on like events and everything along those lines. And it's not that I'm trying to push people away and say don't do this. I'm just saying if you don't like something in this space, you're not forced to consume it. You might want to consume it, but you don't have to consume it, right?
You don't have to.
Which this is the bit that kind of and like people who are having problems with these things on moral grounds, like that would give you even more reason not to consume said thing. And like I feel bad that we're kind of having this, because it's like it's a thing that creates turbulence and takes away some viewership.
I think it's for me, it's growing pains. For me, it's just like you have to go through this. Like we have to get to this point at some point. So let's just rip the Band-Aid off and deal with it as early as possible.
But you and I are behind the curtain a bit more, right? Whereas like the viewer in the audience, they don't acknowledge that. Like, and
they don't have to care about that.
Exactly. Exactly. And I'm not asking them to care about it. Right. I just think that it's like you're bang on. It is just this thing that exists. And I feel like, you know, acknowledging that on our end is quite easy to do. The biggest, like, because I say,
well, I think part of the reason it's like, for me, I'm like, we just have to suck it up and get through it, is like, I've mentioned this a couple of times, is one thing that esports has always been missing, and this is one thing that elevated traditional sports, at least in American media ecosystem, back in like the 80s, is when broadcasting rights really started getting sold. And that's essentially what this is, right?
Sure.
Is broadcasting rights for the major are now kind of on Kick.
Well, and this is where, because it's taken me a long time to get here, so I apologize to everyone. I hope everyone's still playing along and not too upset with the things that I've said.
They're probably working. They're barely paying attention. They're probably keyed in right now. Go.
Okay, good. Because I saw some conversations starting to manifest about, you know, like, well, with all these problems with this, why doesn't Valve just run it themselves and stuff? And I think and people make the comparison between TI and them doing it with TI as opposed to the majors and everything. And I think that there's one thing that's been made clear to us over the years is the CS team and the Dota team, they're two different teams, right? They're under the same umbrella of company, but like the way that they have their methodology of running their shit is how they want to run their shit. So like,
and they steal from each other, right?
Of course, right? And also like you see things that work and don't work. I'll tell you, like the DPC is something that I don't think worked. Whereas like the way that Valve have been running their majors.
Well, I think the VRS feels like almost like an evolved version of the DPC to a certain extent, you know, like they took some elements of the DPC that they liked and were like, this is where the point of failure occurred over in Dota. So let's like work a way to avoid that kind of a scenario.
Yeah. And we also had a different already starting point in the ecosystem because we didn't have all the chips in just for the one event, right?
Yeah,
and they've scaled back money on TI now. And PGL's been the ones who essentially been running the production for that forever. So I guess it's just the money being put up, which is essentially what they do anyway with majors, right? They put the money up for the majors in terms of the travel and accommodation for players and everything along those lines. They put up the prize money. And then I think everything else after that gets covered by the TO.
So,
There are probably some things I'm missing there.
That's a big picture.
So, you know, the way that we're fighting, we're in a good spot. Like Counter-Strike it's not dropping off a cliff. It might not be skyrocketing either, but it's a gradual rise. And like right now, even though this is what, the 12th year of majors?
2013 was the first one, out of 2013.
So I'm rounding up.
It's about 12 years.
12 years.
You're good,
12 years of majors. We're still like in the infancy of all of this because there's still like somebody like Duncan's turning in his grave. He's not dead, but he would be. Not dead, but if he were. In the sense that, you know, where I'm just doing those 12 years because obviously there's a very rich history of Counter-Strike before that, right? But you've got like the fledgling years and well, that's back then is kind of the birth. Now we're in the fledgling years, and then when you and I are like 70 years of age, right? We don't know what Counter-Strike will become, but you assume based off of the cycle of the game, like every 10 years they release a new one or whatever, right? And now that we've gone CSGO into CS2 is more like a port than it is a new game. You would imagine that would keep just slowly growing, which is that's great. That's what you want, right? Like you don't want to have this and then straight down the cliff. Like we're in a really good spot. So all of these things, people right now, essentially where I'm going with this is people right now, you've got some irks, you've got some things you don't like. I get it, but all these things will be temporary, right? And we are going to learn right now from this event what level these impacts, like with this kick situation, is going to have.
There's a lot of industry people paying very close attention to how this plays out.
And then we're going to see kind of how that folds into the future and then what level of impact that has on the now. And it might have very little impact. It might have big impact.
It might have a ton of impact.
But we don't know. We don't know, right? And it's just like,
it's the fun of being part of the industry.
Exactly. Exactly. And this is where the players you see as well when things happen around the majors and they get their nose put out of joint stuff, because for them their time frame is short, but for Counter-Strike itself, its time frame is indefinite. Hopefully, right? So we're working on different time frames, and the same for viewers. Viewers care about what they're doing in the now, not what happens in 5 years.
Immediate.
But we're like ecosystem people. It's one of my other than the actual game itself. I love talking about the whole ecosystem.
The ecosystem is a fun thing to keep stock of. It's a hard thing to keep track of. But I was telling them, when I did this like liquid business thing, like everyone is always asking, like, do you actually like coming and doing these things? And I'm like, I actually kind of love it because I get out of the bubble of all of our information we get is from our smaller ecosystem of the talent team, of like the production staff, of like the immediate product managers, of the tournament organizer. And when I go to these business conferences and do these panels, like it's not the sexiest and most exciting thing in the world, but I was just telling you, I was laughing, like I just like talk to someone random and then someone will come up and be like, hey, this is like the VP of marketing for Intel for all of like the gaming. And this is, you know, here's like a hedge fund manager. And I'm just like, and then I get the perspective of people outside the industry. So like you put a bigger picture together.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? Like when we're thinking about broadcasts or like even content we're doing like this, it's like, how do you make things interesting to a broader group of people to watch or to be engaged or want to go to the event? And it's a class like Can't See the Forest for the Trees thing, right? Because we're in the thick of it and we're trying to have this solution.
We're in the fucking trees.
I imagine if people stand back and they look at it, they go, oh, this is easy, or you could just do this or whatever, right? So yeah, it's...
Well, I mentioned this as well. I saw Craig down there in New York.
Torble for those people playing at home.
For those who might not have known, he announced his stepping down. He was the co-CEO of EFG up until February, March earlier this year. And I was talking to him, and he's essentially, I mean, he's doing his consulting role still and everything like that, and his advisory role, but he's basically just kind of had 6 months of kind of chilling. And I was like, so what's been going on? And he's like, it's one of those things, like, now that I've had all this time, and because he's been pushing esports since he was also the founder of ESEA. He was the founder of Team 3D back in the day. So he's been like positive and bull and like grinding esports and Counter-Strike esports for what, like 20 some years now. And he was like, this is the first time I've been able to like take a step back to this degree and just like take a breath. And he's like, it's interesting because now that you step back and get some time to look at things from the outside, you kind of realize, maybe there are some areas where we could have done things differently or should have done things differently, or long term this decision had this effect which we didn't kind of anticipate. So he's like, yeah, getting to like step back and look at it from an outside perspective has kind of changed where he thinks, some of the things that they did and the decisions they made should have gone or should have been different.
Yeah, I guess like hindsight's 2020, right? Because when you even think about the way that media is being consumed at the moment, and you hear from some of these streamers that it's not about the streams themselves, but it's about the clips, right? And the clicks they get on the clips that are, and it's like, okay, so now that's the thing. So then how do you, and that'll change as the flow as well.
Those fucking moments.
Exactly, right? And this, I've always been a bigger fan of like long form content.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I get in the doom scrolling reels like everybody else, and you get stuck, just swiping through shit and getting those little dopamine hits. But
I love that moment of realization when you're like, whoa,
yeah, what the fuck am I doing?
I have to get out of here.
Yeah. But like that's the thing with all of this. You only know while you're doing it, and I think the hard part for us is you need to be dialed in. Right, you need to be reading the forums and checking what's happening on Reddit and watching all the games and consuming the stuff on Twitter and the drama and this and that, because even though it's not all healthy and good, right, it's all makes up the scene and where it is at the moment, right? So it's like I there's a lot of accounts on Twitter that I just like, guys, like what the fuck is going on, man? Like what have we become? And that's the thing. It all is all just about the quick dopamine hits, but in a different way.
Yeah.
And I don't think everything has to be Counter-Strike educational. I want things to be fun. I want things to people who enjoy what they're doing and stuff. But there's just so much of everything going on at the moment that you can't really pinpoint. I guess that's it. You need a bit of everything.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So a roundabout way of saying, I don't know what I was saying.
Yeah. Something about the ecosystem.
Something. I don't know. Someone will get there. I don't know. Yeah. $500,000 for first.
500,000 buckaroos.
It's not a lot of money, is it? Like, it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, but it feels like considering the prize pools that we have everywhere else in the world, it doesn't seem like
5 players,
super
a coach,
significant.
a manager,
a manager,
an org.
You think the manager gets a cut?
That's depends on the.
It's
all about the sticker money, isn't it? I keep forgetting. It's all about the sticker money.
Yeah.
I did an interview when I was in Chengdu with Perfect World, and they go, "Okay, so," because they're just asking the guy who had done his research on me. The thing was, it was mainly questions about me. I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I thought it was going to be the other scene or something." It's like, so when you got your stickers back in the early days of the majors, how much did you get? And I was like, well, I don't know how much we got for the team stickers because that just went back into helping fund us to go to events, right? But for my personal one, the signature when I was in Renegades, I was like, we got made 12 grand.
Which was probably fucking awesome at the time. You were fucking it was just like, I'm so loaded.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So these days, right, I don't know. It is up and down, right? And it changes from major to major. Like, this is one of the things when I remember Owner was doing a stream a couple years ago around a major, and he was like, yeah, and the players make this much from stickers. And I'm like, you shouldn't really be pushing that because it's not guaranteed. Like on, the top major with the signature stickers, they got a shitload. But
that's the hard part is where do they get their information? Because if he's talking about that as like one of the playoff teams, it's vastly different from one of the teams and players who went out in the first stage.
Exactly, right. Not everyone is getting the same money, and not every major, the money is there. Now, obviously, it's a lot of money in the scheme of things for playing a video game. Right?
Yes.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not ever trying to,
diminish the value of the dollar.
at all. But it's just like, it's one of those things that we can't predict until after the fact, right? And there's other factors that play into that. Like, do Valve have other mechanisms that they want to try and use as in-game items for people to buy on? I saw another one of those tweets about like fucking Valve made such and such money this year. It's like,
and off the cases or something like that.
It's just in general, like, as the business.
It's like
the
company.
They have 300 and something people and they make this many millions per head, and the average pay is like 1.3 million per person over the company and stuff, and it's like,
not bad, is it? It's a good company to work for.
Well, this is it. Like, when I see him next, I ain't paying for dinner, I'll tell you that much. I'm not paying for dinner.
This is going on the Gabe credit card for sure.
Gabe's covering this one, I'll tell you that much, cheap. I'm not paying for this one. Like, guys, come on now. Actually, maybe I should, because without them I wouldn't be eating either. So
you have to offer,
Yeah.
You have to offer, and that means you could get caught in the trap. You know?
Brian, that slippery salamander,
Yeah.
probably he'll call my bluff. He'll make me pay. But where were we? What were we talking about? Stickers, major, signature, 500,000.
500,000.
22 nights.
22 nights.
Stage 1. Should we? What did we miss? Have I missed anything? I feel like I've done podcasts, but not like as. I haven't been as fluid with it lately because there's been so much going on. I've been in and out and here and there and China and this and.
Sometimes there's like a few like little like community level dramas that you miss out on, isn't there?
They're doing the Mustache Masters over there.
Mustache Masters is going on, which is cool. Make sure you guys check them out. They'll be running that. I think that's this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if it goes all weekend. I'm not on
Well,
top
it's
of what they
Sunday,
do.
so it's probably ending today if it is all weekend.
Yeah, I saw that Mike shaved his head.
Yeah. Mike shaved his head. They had a bunch of stretch goals that went up from like 1,000 all the way up to like 50,000, I think, something like that. So yeah, that's obviously
good.
We've been part of those endeavors before in the past as well. It's a fun thing to be part of.
Yeah, we were doing the Movember stuff back in like 2017, 2018. I think maybe we did something in 2019 as well.
2019 Chicago.
Yeah, that's
when Henry and I had the dog collars, the electric dog collars.
Before Hassan.
And we got shocked on before Hassan.
Henry also wore my beard hair as a mustache because he can't grow one, and he was dry reaching.
I try and forget that.
He wasn't having a good time with that.
No, he was so angry.
Yeah.
He was throwing up in the bathroom for like an hour.
Yeah, but it's not like my beard hair. It's not like it's my pubes or anything.
I know, but I feel like when one of those beard hairs gets stuck in your throat, there's no way for it to not feel like a pube.
True.
Like mentally, you know it's a beard hair, but your brain is probably also like, yeah, but what if it's a pube?
True.
You know?
Yeah. But it's always a good cause. I'll have to check and see where they're at. I think they made I think they made 20 grand or something.
Hopefully they killed it.
Yeah, so good. Shout out to those lads.
Yeah.
Cadian to OG. Did you guys talk about that?
Yeah, I think we brought it up in the last one, and it was kind of just like, what the fuck ever. But Cadian going to OG, and
because I just saw
Flamus,
Casper.
Flamus as well was announced as going to OG.
Yeah, on loan from VP. So I imagine VP want to get their money back for Flamus. They spent a lot of money
And
getting
they benched him rather quickly.
Yes, but it's good for Flamus to be getting back in the server
and to get out of that team right now because that's in a free fall.
Yeah, and I think that for him, it'll be a good position. Like, not for him, for the team overall, because you think about that roster, it's like Aristos, Spook, is it Adam or is it Suspo? I was confused
Adam.
too. Adam, then Katie, and we're doing the AWPing in-game leadership stuff, right? So it's more akin to Gamer Legion for Flamus than it is to the VP situation.
I'm really curious if this team is going to be able to make some improvement. Like,
OG?
Yeah.
Well, the bar's very low.
The bar is very low. But this is like Cadian is now in like the same position as Electronic and VP, which is kind of like if you don't make this work, like where do you go? You know, like if you don't make this work, like this is kind of like your last shot at, I guess, I don't know, OG doesn't compete in the tier 1 circuit, but I feel like as an organization we kind of hold them in a similar nebulous area.
No.
Okay.
My thought, if you look at it from Casper's perspective, would be one of like his last 2 endeavors were very flat. The Liquid situation embroiled in a bit of drama there, and then the Astralis one as well, like didn't work. Like, he had reunited with Stan and Yabby, and then it didn't work, and then he gets cooked again. So like he's having a rifle, not AWP, right? And it's very easy in that moment to just get down in the dumps about things. He took a good amount of time off there.
Yeah, but this is I guess the problem with Cadian bringing in as an IGL is both those issues. Team Liquid, we obviously know from all the conversations out of Twist and Yakinder basically saying we were doing all the game planning and we were doing all the strategy making. Like Cadian as an IGL isn't someone who comes in with like a set plan and structure of how he wants to utilize everyone. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe that's changed with the time off.
Yeah, that would be the question, because I imagine it was a very similar thing over at Astralis, especially when you have a player like Device who has played in like system protocol based Counter-Strike for so long. You get someone who wants to fly by the seat of their pants and play by intuition, and Device is like, I'm fucking lost, bro.
Well, I also think the game's evolved, right? Because one of the things that FURIA are doing very well at the moment that makes them one of the top contenders is instead of the game just being constantly moving and reaction based, there is a bit of it that's like, okay, but sometimes we sit and wait and multi-kill, right? So embracing that side of the game is something that he's going to have to do on the way back in as well.
Do you think FURIA is like the first like counterweight to the like fucking movement meta of when you're always pushing something across
maybe
the map,
as a team, right? Because like there would obviously be players. Like you think about Mezzi, one of the reasons that Mezzi Vitality first season was so strong is when the puzzle pieces were moving for Vitality, Mezzi would still just be like anchoring topside on you, for example, right? And then he'd get a double kill. It's like, okay, he's won the round based off of that. I think, yeah, maybe on a more team-based, like player-by-player situation, FURIA, yeah. And I remember that because it was earlier in the year, Yakinda was talking, either he was doing a podcast for when ESL event or just chatting with him in passing or as an interview. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone talks a shitload in this industry.
Yeah.
There's so much.
There's so many different platforms and so many different places it comes out. There's no way to track it all.
And websites and everything. He was talking about, one of the things that they're focusing on is just being able to hold their sites and multi-kill, right? So, that's,
which is fair.
Yeah. But that's what Counter-Strike, like on the CT side, that's what it used to be. It wasn't like, you'd lose a player. It's like, okay, well now I guess I'm solo B and I have to kill 3.
I mean, that's the same strength as like a bunch of great teams over the years, right? Like the old Fnatic 2015 was like JW is going to go fucking nuts and do some crazy shit. Olaf is going to do the same thing, but then behind them you got Flusha chilling somewhere and you got Crims kind of anchoring a bomb site. You have that fucking backup. Same with the old Astralis. You knew Dupree was going to be aggressive, but you always know Zip is going to be parked somewhere waiting for you. Yeah. Yeah, Furia's they've started to get that down. I noticed that a lot with them, where like when they do hit that pause button quite frequently and just wait for those like information plays.
Fallen's not afraid to slow the game down on either side. Like on the T side as well. Like I think when you see how rehearsed and how many moves that teams have on the CT sides to try and like, especially on maps like Inferno with Banana, for example. Yeah. And I know it's already a slow map, but just like hitting the brakes and letting them go through it all and stuff, it's just like that within itself. They're using all these nades for nothing.
It's almost like a little like fucking judo concept. It's like letting their own movement kind of beat them, right? You're just sitting there and you're like, you guys pushing to us. We'll take that. We'll fight that.
Yeah.
What's some of the other big news? Wildcards had another chat GPT situation. I'm just assuming. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is going on over there.
It's really good they blew it up. I was starting to think some of the pieces, right, of where they could go. So
but like, before we get to that, like it's such a weird way to go. Like they did this whole chat GPT thing like a few months back, lost like 2 players, but then they brought like Stanislav was benched and then brought back. Same with
wasn't it Fuzzy?
Fuzzy was cut and then brought back. Like they had like 2 or 3 players that they like relinquished from the roster and then brought them back in, and now like months down the road they're just blowing the whole thing up.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess for me, I maybe should care more, but I just know that like some orgs or some managers or something, they're just not good.
Yeah.
I know that doesn't help anything. It's very reductive, but
I can buy into that and I'm with you there. But like even if we just accept that there's like a bad manager who's made some bad decisions, I almost like in some level I'm like, I don't even see the logic. Like, like sometimes with bad decisions you can at least see the logic and be like, well, I understand where you're going, but this is fucking stupid.
Didn't they get fucked a little bit by the region change after last major? Because remember, like we had the whole rule that came in because you know how Liquid were kind of flirting on both sides of the fence, and then they adapted the rule. Like Wildcard were one of those teams who had players from here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
So there could have been some of that influence that hurt them. Because did they become a Europe? No, wait, they had 3 North Americans, right? Because they had Peeping, Stanislaw, and JBA.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, like, and bringing in Fiku, what the fuck were they expecting to happen there? The kid had done nothing on OG for 7 years.
I don't know.
That's over exaggerating. I know, but however long it was on
but
OG,
that's one of the ones that also gets towards money. But that's also like one of those pickups too, where I'd be like, I understand going and getting like someone like Fiku who has a name, but like at that point, as you're saying, like why wouldn't you just take the risk on someone who hasn't had the chance and see if they can give you a better level than what you know you're going to get out of a mid-level European player?
Well, these were the guys. These were the guys that had Susp, and then Susp was no longer there, right? Like, and it was him and Fuzzy. The Swedes were driving a lot of the firepower. I think it's probably a good thing though for somebody like JBA to be in the market now, because after this major with NRG, M80, that type of stuff, maybe he's able. Maybe not passion.
He's probably the most exciting prospect. Him and Fuzi coming up there. I know Peeping's got some excitement about him too.
If you're the Swedish AWPer, there's got to be some teams that are out there that are maybe not tier 1, but maybe like tier 2, tier 1.5 European teams that your services might be better felt in. Like you're not going to get I was going to say easy ticket. It's still a hard ticket to get to the major, but you're going to be running a bit more of like a gauntlet in EU to be able to make the major than if you were in like a North American based project like this one, right? So, but I still think like if he can play impactful AWP in Counter-Strike, there's a lot of teams that are still struggling. Like imagine him in game, like Hypex has only played a couple of tournaments, but he's another one that still is yet to find the level of impression I think that Ash and Gamer Legion are looking for, right? They still have AWPing struggles. So that him there, I don't know how he is as a personality, or maybe that's the problem with him. But yeah, like that's a team where it could be. There's got to be some teams that might consider him. So I think him and JB are probably the two most interesting.
Sure.
I think Stan made that tweet, remember, after it went down initially, where he was like, I'll coach or in-game lead.
Yeah, he's a really intriguing one, especially in the NA region, if you need a coach or an IGL, or both, to be honest with you. Like, I think he's someone who could, if you're going to start a new project or something, could initially start as the IGL and transition at some point into coaching.
Problem you have is, like, Stan, I would imagine, doesn't want to do any of this for free, which is fair enough, right?
Yeah.
So you're not doing like a grassroots type situation,
No,
right?
not at
So I think that's where the biggest hurdle for him is. We have to see what ends up at 100 Thieves. I don't think they'll be included in that project at all. I think that Graham and
Graham's
Sean,
come out and said publicly they're not using it to like focus on building an NA anything.
Yeah,
like they're not putting any energy into being like helping rebuild NA or be like a keep the roots in the NA side of things.
I think that Rain's already in-game leading over there, right?
Rain's
So
already-
yeah, that's,
Is he IGL? Is that announced?
I'm pretty sure like it was in some conversation that was being said. I saw at least a headline or a quote or something.
And Graham's over there at Dracula and analyzing.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
So it's going on right now, the Draculan.
Yeah.
There was one result,
Fucking
like
Passion just got
was it
swept
Ecstatic
out.
that they got owned?
I
Yeah,
think
which
they
is
got smashed.
not great for confidence building pre-major, is it?
No, it really isn't.
No, that one is kind of stings. But yeah, I guess what you're hoping for if you're Passion in this situation is just to get some reps in to be major ready. You just have to hope that your mental doesn't get. Yeah, that's
13-6,
that's a lot
13-2.
of red.
Yeah, that's harsh.
Yeah, that is pretty bad. Yeah, yeah. But that's what's.
But you know what? You'd rather have it happen now. Like, it sucks. You'd like the confidence build up, but get blown out now and go into the major knowing you can't fuck around.
True.
Like, Ecstatic just handles you like this, and then you go into the major and like a little bit humbled, but still confident. That's actually not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, that's true. Should we jump into like the stage 1 teams and talk through? Did you and Yanko do any? What did you?
No, we haven't. We did the last episode, all three of us, so we're all good. We're all caught up.
Oh yeah, the one you guys did was in Bucharest, wasn't
right
it?
in Bucharest.
Yeah, then we did one at home. Jesus, it's been that long.
I guess the last thing to maybe touch on before getting into the actual Counter-Strike would be the NRG Nitro situation.
Well, I guess they are a stage 1 team, so it breached the
That's
conversation.
true. Right there, it is the transition.
Now you made a tweet saying that players shouldn't have sex 9 months before a major.
Yeah.
Now-
Or
Ever.
condoms. This would be a perfect place, like for a condom sponsorship.
Now I know that
this could be our pitch.
Now see, this is one that we could get.
Yeah.
Suitcases, no. Condoms,
Suitcase,
yes.
condoms, yes. Like if we get like a Durex, strong and durable, so that you can be a champion on and off the server.
And if they're strong enough condoms, you could inflate them to a size they could act as a mini bag. So we could take over the suitcase market too.
with condoms.
Yeah. Now your tweet is obviously being slightly facetious.
Yeah.
Now, but now I'm going to upset.
No, get into it. Upset somebody.
Going to upset parents. I don't have any children.
Sure.
I barely see my family.
Sure.
I hate myself.
Okay.
Oh no, we're not talking about me. Sorry. No, but I think it tells you where Nitro's at in his career, doesn't it? Doesn't it, Jason?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't want to put it on Nitro. I think it tells you where NRG's expectations are more than.
What do you mean you don't want to put it on Nitro? Jason, he's already got a kid. You've seen one of them get born.
He's got 3. Yeah.
He's got. This will be third.
This is 3rd, I think.
You've already got 2.
Yeah.
This is the major.
Some people love that shit, dude. I'm happy with 1. One and done.
And I'm not saying don't have more. Do what you want.
Don't have more.
Elon's saying repopulate the planet,
Yeah,
right?
don't listen
Get
to
it
him
going.
either. Yeah.
Just get him in a Tesla or whatever you're doing. Yeah. But this is my point is this. It's like NRG can't be taken as a serious team. Or at least Nitro's contributions to the team. Because people are like, yeah, the family's got... This is the major, Jason.
I know what you mean.
This isn't fucking Draculan. This isn't Philadelphia.
This is what I mean, where it tells me more about, I think, where NRG is at than where Nitro's at. Because I think if they felt like there was a great chance of them progressing to like stage 2 and having a deep run at the major, he'd be here, right? He'd be at the major.
Wouldn't.
I think he wouldn't. Yeah.
But then that just tells you the whole...
Like someone from Vitality's having a kid, they're going to be at the major regardless.
Well, what's the point of the team then? Just it's the major. He's going to cash in.
Look,
he's going to get his sticker money regardless, right? Because But could you? Okay, I know you're a parent, but I need you to pretend you're not for a second.
Okay.
Okay. And now I need you to be exotic, or be bro.
Sure.
Okay. Hey, Jason. Sorry, man. The major exotic, the first major that you're ever going to go to, your in-game leader's not coming.
Yeah.
Why? You wouldn't even ask the question. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter what. Like,
I know what you mean.
Has he lost a leg? That's probably one of the reasons he shouldn't be there.
Well, in theory, they had like at least like 7 months of warning about this, you know? So, I mean, like, that was the other thing that came out, too, was, like, they had the conversation of how do we replace him? Do we bring someone else in as, like, a strong player? Do we bring someone else in as an IGL for the major? And I think it was it...
Daps and getting to stand in. He's, like, the fucking...
Well, they were mentioning they talked to some people, and they were like, nobody wanted to... Like, we talked to a few people who were willing to stand in, but none of them wanted to come in and be an IGL and play Nitro's positions, which pissed me off, I'll be honest with you. If you're getting a call-up as, like, a random fifth to come be a stand-in for the major, and you say, I don't want to play those... Like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, get into the fucking major and play the major. Are you shitting me?
Yeah.
Fuck the roles.
Well, yeah, exactly. And the team is essentially going to be pugging anyway. Like we've seen this before. It's not the first time Daps in a team has stood in. Like, I'm sure he's the first to put his hand up. Daps is a
He's always keen to stand in.
He's not a coach. He's a sixth man, isn't he? You know, like he's always. So he's like, no, Nitro, no, you can't miss the birth of your 7th child. You really need to be at home.
Oh, Nitro does have a whole VRS core, doesn't he?
It's like,
good for him.
It's like, look, I know that people are going to say that I'm sounding insensitive, but it's just like,
no, I'm with you.
This is the pinnacle of competition.
Even as a parent, I think closer to where you are than not. Like, I'm never gonna I would never criticize someone for taking like the major off to go be at the birth of their child, whichever number it is.
1, 2, 3, 4.
But I do also. I mean, that had to be one hell of a decision for Nitro to make, especially because I think part of the issue too, to give Nitro a little bit of cover here would be like, when my child was born, it's kind of like, here's the due date. But it's kind of like give or take 2 weeks. Like, remember, we were at the Valve thing playtesting CS2. The day I got back from that, I landed in the morning, and my wife and I went to the hospital 6 hours later for her to go in. So like,
it's good that Jane held off for you.
At any point in that weekend was kind of like, I have to be ready to fly home. Like, I could get the call and just have to dip at any point.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not an exact science.
No, and look, the thing is, I'm not trying to be I know I'm a grumpy old man. I'm not trying to, like, you know, poo-poo all this, but I look at it from the perspective of the younger players, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, Nitro's played at a bunch of majors. For him, this isn't a big deal. But for these other guys, it is. And it's like, this team qualified to be there. They beat M80, right, in
just
the
recently,
in the best of 5. Good, yeah. And it's like, you know, there was some promise going on. And then what happens is they shift to a lot of people's 0-3 pick, right, in the pick'ems. So,
as they should.
Yeah, and again, like, I wouldn't recommend anybody shapes their life off of any family decision I've made at any point in mine by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just probably taking it more from the side of the players who are playing some of their first majors and how they would be feeling.
Sure.
So
yeah, it's got to be a tough situation, but that's why I think it feels a little bit more chaotic for us because we just get the news yesterday and just hit the news. For them,
so
this had to have been a conversation.
Yeah, that's fair.
This had to have been a conversation. Again, you get that due date, and when he gets the due date and it says, you know, like November, like 24th or something like that, they're like, oh, that's the first day.
But this is,
you know, like they knew it was coming.
I'm gonna continue to make enemies of people right now, and I'm not trying to, but I think like these are Nitro is someone who is like. Oh, I was going to say Ethan, but he ended up winning something good in Valorant, didn't he?
Yeah.
These people are people who look at esports, or not esports. Well, no, yeah, esports, because they change games, as a career.
Okay.
Now, I understand that it is...
I look at esports as a career.
I understand that it is our career.
Sure.
But in my mind, I could wake up tomorrow and this could all be gone.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm always searching for the top.
Well, I think the way you want to phrase it is we're so invested in Counter-Strike that we don't see esports as a career. We see Counter-Strike as the career.
Sure.
And if Counter-Strike is gone, the wider esports doesn't have a whole lot to offer towards us.
Yeah, but I guess what I mean is like when going got tough, you know, shifting to Valorant because it meant you got to stay at home and make good money there when your heart was probably not fully in it, but you got to make money.
Yeah.
Like, if my heart wasn't in this, I couldn't do this.
Yeah.
Right? Because I would feel like there'd be a lot of things I'd feel. First of all, I'd feel like a fraud. Second of all, I feel like I'd be taking a position from somebody else who would have a higher level of passion or love for the thing than I would. Right? Like, we've worked with people in the past who would treat this, it would just be a job. We know there were people who we worked with who hated Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
But were very good at what they did.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And if they can function like that, that's fine. I'm just saying for me, I couldn't function like that, right? So it's like, for me, this just shows it's like, okay, so this is a job for him. And that's fine. Like, that's okay. I think I'm still just stuck in the past where this was a dream.
Yeah, that
right?
turned into.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine missing a major as a player.
Yeah, I couldn't either.
As a right, because especially these days, like the level of competition now is so high across the board. It's like, you know, you get to go to this. This is the culmination of the year. This is the culmination of all of your efforts. But that's it. Your effort. This isn't the end, right? That's the other problem that this presents. Like, this isn't the end. This is just the end of this year, and then it'll all happen again next year.
Yeah.
So I take back everything I said. Congratulations, Nitro. I hope that you enjoying the birth of your
Congratulations, third child. That's absolutely lovely.
Look at that. We've come full circle. I tried to cover the full spectrum of emotions that everyone may be having there.
Well, my brother has 3 kids, so
and he's not a professional Counter-Strike player.
no, but their life is it's an intense situation. It's a thing, man. It's a thing.
Yeah, I imagine it is.
We go over there and we hang out and have dinner with them and their 3 kids, and then we leave. And my wife and I look at each other like, "Thank God we have to." Thank God. Like, it's just fucking, and we're exhausted. It's a nightmare. It's a whole thing.
No, fair enough.
All right, that's enough of the baseless shit. Let's get into
stage 1. I'm really excited to see
Merrick
from Rare Atom. He's 32. He's from Taiwan.
Okay.
And he can't wait to get in the server.
Is this your inspiration? He's an older man. Let's see what he's got to take.
He's a man who gets it. He's not out there fucking.
So he hasn't got a fucking Valorant. He's out there grinding.
And even if he does have 3 kids, they're at home.
Yeah.
He's coming to his first major, Jason.
They're fucking chilling.
Merrick ain't messing about.
Dude, he looks like he's not fucking around.
Him, Tiger, fucking Lee Hang, Chong King, Summer. They can't fucking wait.
No, they're having a good time.
Who are your 0-3s?
Who are my 0-3s? I actually haven't done my pick'ems yet officially. So I would put...
Dude, those fucking Imperial guys trying to get their Gamba logo through.
Yeah.
They got to pass the keeper for one day.
Yeah, they really do.
Can you believe it? I'm like, oh, it's just a castle.
Yeah, they're like, just get the fucking...
That's a cool... Oh, that was like a chess piece.
It is not bad, yeah. It did well.
Oh, shit.
I would probably... I'm at the moment, top of my head, I'm going to throw NRG in there. And
0-3, you're going to put... Really? I didn't even put... Well, I haven't changed.
Now that Nitro is not there, I might put him at 0-3. Probably I'm going to look towards a team like Rare Atom is going to be in the consideration. Red Canids, I feel like, is a trap. I don't know why.
You don't think they're as bad as they seem?
I mean, I think they're pretty bad. I just don't know if they're 0-3 bad, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Who do you have this 0-3?
I put the Huns and Red Canids, but this was pre-NRG news.
Yeah, that's fair.
So mine could shift today. The NRG roster, it's
it's not bad even with Nitro gone. It's Daps, Sonic, Exotic, Bro, George. Like that's a team they're going to compete for one series, you know?
Oh yeah, that's why I wouldn't shift them into the 0-3 category.
Like I think Fluxo
in best of ones, bro, anything's possible.
Yeah, that's true. Like Fluxo, Imperial, like that whole bottom end of things, they could challenge for some of those teams.
I think Paravision and FlyQuest are the two. I don't think Paravision's a sleeper team. They have 4 major rookies, right? AW, Belchanok, Zello, and the fucking other guy, I forget his name.
I got you.
Belchanok, AW, Nota. Yeah.
This dude's name is just Aw.
Yeah.
AW.
Well, AW or yeah, whatever. Well, you could do a lot with that.
Oh.
There's a lot we could do. Yeah. Right. Wow, okay.
There's a lot we can do.
Yeah,
that's all we got.
There is. That's all we got. And if you turn Nota's name backwards, it's a ton.
There we go.
I don't know, bro.
That's pretty good.
Fucking 8 o'clock in the morning.
Pretty good.
I think for me, obviously, bias speaking loudly, FlyQuest, they're going 3-0.
Oh yeah,
They're obviously not going 3-0.
I think they're gonna have no issue qualifying through the stage. I don't know if 3-0 is the one that I'd put them at, but they're gonna have no problems qualifying.
No problems, Jason.
Yeah, I think FlyQuest in stage 1, no problems qualifying.
What's the basis of that?
I really liked what I saw in some of their most recent games. What was that cast? Bucharest. Yeah, I actually liked some of the things I saw there. I think they made a lot of improvements. I think Ozzo's actually done a good job in the brief time he's had of making them feel like they're a little bit sharper, a little bit cleaner, a little bit more focused on top of things.
Yeah.
And fundamentally, it seems like they weren't like getting into any like silly, like crazy wide swings too much. Like they were a little bit more buttoned down in the fundamentals of the game, which is good. So I think this particular phase of them, or this particular phase of the tournament, shouldn't be too much of a struggle.
Yeah, for me, it's their mental that could be their undoing, right? But other than that, I think that with the position changes and the map change and stuff that Aaron's gone for, the complexion of the team, but on the now, right? This is one of the things I was talking about. It's like maybe this isn't the final form, and I'm not talking player complexion, I'm talking player position, or like, you know, what you want out of certain names, but you need to think about the now because you've dropped out of the bubble.
Yeah.
So a stage 2 here needs to propel you back into that for the next season.
Yes.
So getting the most you can out of this roster now and this complexion of positions now is hugely important. So that's the thing, right? Stage 2. If I was Papa Smitty or any of the management over there, like my mindset of this is stage 2 is a must, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't want to apply that pressure and turn the heat up like that, but that would be the sentiment in my eyes.
The players probably already know in the back of their minds as well.
Sure, yeah. Well, I think for Justin, for example, it feels like it should be going that way, right? But at the same time, like, people will look at his stats and say, yeah, well, he's playing shit in that team, and he's not. I don't think he's playing to the best of his ability in that team.
But that always happens with these new teams, especially a team coming from smaller regions, especially from a team that hasn't had a whole lot of success yet, as your individual level drops off as you're trying to help the team get to a better place.
Sure, and he's having to do a lot more leadership stuff. I understand he's not in-game leading, but the way that he's mentoring players and helping them and whatnot.
Which has got to be unique for him because he's always been the fucking quiet guy on the teams, you know?
We were talking a lot about the move before he made the move, and I was saying this is going to become one of your responsibilities, right? Like you will be required
same when
to do that.
Liege joined Complexity as well. It's
Sure.
the same conversation we had where it's like, look, Liege, you got to keep the emotions in check because you have to be a leadership figure for these guys. Yeah.
Exactly. And I understand how that exhausting that can be.
Yep.
I was going to go, they've stayed in Europe since the Bucharest event.
Oh, shit, really? So it's been like a 3-week fucking...
It's like when they were Renegades back before that Katowice in 2019.
Yeah,
Was it 2019?
They did have that huge boot camp before they...
It's kind of the same thing there. So I'm hoping they net similar
results. They
Now,
made quarterfinals of that event?
That was...
Semifinals? It's quarterfinals. Because that was the Katowice Major.
Was it quarterfinals they made? I know they made semifinals of the
because it was Liquid.
Berlin Major.
It was Liquid Ents and then Astralis Navi on the other. No,
I don't know if they made the playoffs. I don't know.
Yeah, Katowice 19 they made playoffs, and then Berlin I think they made semifinals.
They made semis and they lost to Avantgarde.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if we're gonna get the same level. Let's just say if they make it to stage 2, that's what
let's start with stage 2. Yeah.
We'll go from there. I feel like just looking at the list, right? So for our audio-only listeners, it's FaZe, Legacy, Gamer Legion, Bait, Linvision, M80, Fnatic, NIP, FlyQuest, Paravision, NIG, Fluxo, Imperial, Rare Atom, Red Canids, and the Huns. Those are the 16 teams starting in Stage 1 at the Starladder Budapest Major for 2025. We're on broadcast. I feel like the safe names should you can
Don't
push
say
back.
it. Don't
You
say it.
can push back.
Just don't
The
say
safe
it.
names to make the next stage should
Don't
be
say
Gamer
that
Legion,
one.
Legacy, FaZe.
Oh, you said it.
I had to, and that's why I did it last. You don't think they make stage 2? Could you imagine what kind of a cataclysmic failure
They're
that
going to
would
make
be?
stage 2. I actually do think there is a decent potential for cataclysmic failure.
Okay, here's the deal. If they don't make stage 2, they have to give back one of those stars on top of that fucking logo.
Yeah, they definitely do. And they got to give Twist back.
To where?
I don't know.
Where's he going now?
Yeah, I don't know. I just have a bad feeling about FaZe. I don't know why. I'm with you though. Like they should make it through no problem, but I feel like there's got to be like a 15% chance they have like a catastrophic
Surely
fucking
Frozen
burnout.
and Rust can beat half of those teams on their own.
Yeah, but you never know, right? Like that, like one BO1 loss to the wrong team on the opening day. I don't know who their matchup is if they even have a chance of losing that. But like, or imagine if you get into like the second BO1 game and you lose to fucking Paravision for whatever reason. James just has a star, one of his rookies pops off. Like, I feel like that's a team that's going to be so mentally fragile that if they start slow and this turns into a recovery mission, I think they're in some trouble.
Interesting.
But yeah, FaZe, Legacy, yeah, Gamer Legion, probably. That's fair.
But like, I could do you think FaZe could lose to Fluxo?
In a best of one.
Okay, wow.
Probably not.
Yeah, it's not if we say this and cut to.
I know, that's the thing.
Right.
It's like, we've seen so many like crazy upsets in the BO1s. What are the initial matches?
Bait M80.
Bait M80, Imperial Rare Atom, Legacy Flyquest, Paravision Huns, NIP NRG, Gamer Legion Fluxo, Fnatic Red Canids, FaZe Linvision first.
That is a tough opening game.
That's a losable game.
Yeah.
It's a losable best of one opening game.
Zachary is the best AWPer in the server in this one.
Yeah, so I mean, like, this is my point. Like, you throw them in this BO1, let's say they just lose it, close or demolish, it doesn't matter. Like, who knows where you go from there?
Problem is, I don't even know what FaZe's fucking map pool is. I don't think they even know what their map pool is.
Exactly. Like, there's not a lot of positives to hang on FaZe's necks except for the legacy of the players.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Which is 4 out of the 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think, regardless of the outcome here, FaZe change roster next season?
I think they have to. I think
so. How do you change roster? Oh, let's not get into that conversation. Let's save that.
Yeah,
let's save that.
I mean, the easy one's gonna be Brokey, but yes.
And what about Jacob? He's done nothing.
I think if you're going to make the decision to bench Rain for the major, to have him in the team, you can't fucking replace him after that. Like, you've actually just shown to the team and to, like, the world, like, you're putting a big stake in Jacob as being part of the future.
I guess so unless he's available, though.
Unless he has an absolutely horrendous major.
What if you could get, like...
But this also becomes the other issue, too. Like, this is part of the issue with FaZe that I think is going to be there, right? This is also part of the reason why I think they're in for a catastrophic failure. You've just fucking jogged my memory of one of the things I want to talk about FaZe, this event. One of my talking points of that was... When you get Twist back from Liquid and he comes in and you have this pro league where you then have to bring Rain back, I mentioned this at the time, that's the lineup that Twist wanted when he moved to FaZe, probably more than anything. That's probably the lineup when he was having negotiations he thought he was going to step into, right? That's a situation where you got an event to play with, like, kind of the ideal FaZe lineup that you wanted to recreate the magic. You had that fun little fairy tale run at Pro League. And then it all kind of goes away after that.
Immediately.
And I think as a player who steps in and you're now going into a major and you're saying, why the fuck are we playing with this major rookie instead of the most experienced player of all time, like the fucking anchor, the rock, kind of a player's player in Rain? Like, why are we not using this guy for the most important event? I think you come into this and you're going to have a little bit of the mental of, I don't want to be playing with this guy to begin with. Like, I wanted this to be Rain. Like, and while you're not going to be a dick to him and you're not going to be an asshole or anything like that, there is an element of, we should be playing this major with Rain. And then you have a struggle. You lose a BO1 to a Lin Vision. You're like, this is why we wanted to fucking play with Rain.
Sure.
I think there's going to be a lot of element. I don't mean to focus all that on Twist. I think that's going to be a sentiment amongst Kerrigan, who's missing his longtime right-hand man, Frozen, who is obviously buddy-buddy with Rain, Brokey, who obviously has great chemistry and worked them for years, and Twist. Like, I think FaZe is, like, primed for, like, an explosion, a devastating explosion.
Okay. Well, you're right about Simple, so maybe you'll be right about this.
Don't bring up Simple, man. It's just sad now, isn't it?
Why do people keep making threads about it?
Because he's simple, and
people want to see people who are good fail.
I know it's at the point now where when I see these on like Reddit and everything, I'm just like, oh, come on.
Yeah, what's the point?
It can't be every game, you know. Like, it can't be every single fucking game. And also, like, can we not do it now? Can we wait till the next major cycle? Because, like, now of all the times I can understand how Simple would just kind of be like mentally checked out, right? You basically have the player break of a month. You have, a month where you already know you're not going to be at the major. Like, it's a fucking weird place to be as a team that's trying to grind up.
Yeah. I think the problem is there as well as in, the thing in school where the teacher would separate like the two troublemakers.
Yeah.
Well, BC again brought them back together.
Yeah,
so now they're both just like,
This is kind of like this is detention.
Yeah,
this is the detention room. Is this team?
So they're just throwing paper at each other's head and shit. Like, and they're there, right? They're not doing anything. They're not learning anything. No. They're just having to wait out the time.
Yeah.
So
kind of making it more difficult for the other kids in detention as well.
Look, based on this whole FaZe thing, I think if it was like fucking such a miserable failure, then what it might actually coax out of FaZe as an org is to spend big to try and bring them back into the next season and try and get out some bigger names or try and make some more audacious type of moves, which overall would be a good thing, right? And a lot of people will say Carrigan because he's had some fucking miserable stats this second half of the year. Like, I'm never looking at Carrigan to be a stats Andy, right? But like,
you can't be
hemorrhaging opening deaths and everything all the time, right? Even when you are trying to make space, if you're trying to make space, you're not getting traded.
Also, if you're hemorrhaging deaths as an IGL just trying to make space on the opening, it's like you have to pick better moments to go for that opening.
Exactly, right? So you're trying to force the issue a bit more. But maybe then that will coax them into a position where they do want to get a little bit more aggressive with the way they approach the next season. So maybe it is like a blessing in disguise type scenario, as opposed to like limping into stage 3 and then going out like 1-3 and being like, well, it's still early. Yeah. So maybe it would be good if they lost quite poorly.
I just see a world like they get upset here, and I mean I don't know if this is even possible, but just by the nature of the other games, what if you get lined up against like fucking Bait and you're 0-1 game? And, Bait's not fucking easy walkover either.
I haven't played with the simulator a whole lot. Maybe that I'll sort of do today with all the time that I have is just like kind of go through some of the options of what's possible, because a lot of this I'm looking at it and I'm going, okay, so the best of ones are essentially Mario Kart's blue turtle shell for everybody. Yeah. And everybody has the blue turtle shell at all times, right?
Kind of a cool concept for a fucking game of Mario Kart.
Everyone with the blue turtle shell at all times.
Starts with the blue turtle shell.
And when do we want to fire it? That's the question.
Maybe it has like a fucking 2-minute cooldown.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll add that one to the list of things that we were going to fix in Nintendo, Jason. So everyone has that mechanism at all times because of the nature of this, because people hear the desk conversations of while we're casting, we're like, you win pistol, you get the conversions, you win a clutch, you can win the game, right? Well, it's like when you actually go through that, it's like, okay, so wait, you have to win the pistol, then you need to deal with the force buy, then you need to deal with the second dip of that force by where they probably save something, or maybe there's even a hero AKA on the field.
Yeah.
And then you have to win a clutch or the first gunner. It's like, actually, hold up. This is no longer as easy as what it sounds to be. But I think it's more just how quick it can get away from you, right? Without the game being established with the rifle rounds, which is one of the bigger critiques people have with the MR12, and the players talk about not having as much time to recover. This is not as much time to settle into gun rounds, which in my mind is, I'll say, good thing. People are going to hate that because it puts more emphasis on each and every round. Not any round is a gimme. Like, any round is winnable if played correctly. Sometimes correctly is an accident.
Every round is dangerous.
Exactly. Right. And I think that's how every round should be treated, unless we're like watching it, it's an eco stack and it's on the wrong side of the map. Or the T's have 5 blocks and all they're doing is baiting out utility as they ping pong from B bomb site to A bomb site.
When like it puts so much emphasis on like your macro decisions as a team too. Like I see so many times, like I think I watched a FURIA game like at Bucharest where just it happened to be they made like a bad economic risk early on that like devastated their economy until like round 8, and then it's like good luck. You got
If you get dragged into force by wars and they linger until like the 5th round,
then you come out of the shit end of that popsicle. So then you're having a rough time.
But the angle here is with that mechanism. For me, it's going to be about quality of player as opposed to approach of team for stage 1, right? Because a lot of these names, the way that they're going to get wins over bigger opponents in future stages is going to probably be based off of momentum and gimmicks and those things, right?
Yeah.
Whereas when you're looking at this, a lot of these teams are maybe quite equally matched in terms of macro understanding or approach of the game. It's going to be down to the intangible of which player is going to play well on the day, or which group of players are going to play well on the day, which is hard to measure.
Yep.
But what is easy to measure is quality of player across the teams. If you were to line up all, 5 times 16? What's that?
80.
Okay. Oh yeah, that makes sense, right? Is it?
I don't know.
Let's run with it. Sounds good.
Yeah.
All the players across the course of that is like you're the best players in this stage are Twists and Frozen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like there are some younger names that have a lot of give. Right. Like you look at a Kaspersky on NIP, for example, like his ceiling of mechanical output is high, but his overall consistency of output is not there yet.
Yes,
Right. So, like Blame F's another name that has a very high output, and these are the level of teams that he can farm. However, Blame F's output, if it does come late rounds, will equate to stats, but maybe not round wins, which means that maybe off of that he wouldn't. Whereas, like a Twists is more of a mid to early piece.
Yes.
So if he's getting output there, that should be extended.
Likes getting stuck in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like Legacy, for example, Doomau is an example of a similar, like an early play. If he's getting a lot of action done early,
Yep.
Same as PR for Gamer Legion, right? So we're starting to pick some really good names that when they're going up against a lower tier team like a Rare Atom or a Hans or something, these names
they can smoke them.
Should just be farming them, right?
Yeah.
Because look. The Gamer Legion is going to have a much better macro than the Huns, right? They will beat them as a team, but they'll beat them as a team with players popping off because that's just what's going to happen. It'll be one of those situations where they get the multi-kill, right? There's a 3K.
You're going to have way more rounds that you win individually.
Yes.
And then when you fall into the team-based Counter-Strike, you're probably going to win that too.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, when they rush Squeaky Door, you're going to get 3 kills with the USP, right? Whereas maybe you were playing against a higher skill team, you only get 1 and traded, and then your team has to win another round. You can stump them right there, right? So I think that's where the higher seeded or higher skilled teams have advantage. Like looking at what you've got up on screen right now on HLTV, the top 5 teams are FaZe, Legacy, Gamer Legion, Bait, and then Lin Vision. And I think that all of those names should make it through the next stage. I think
they should.
Right? Like, it could be.
Although I wouldn't necessarily put Lin Vision in that should.
I don't know. Well, what's their results looking like lately? I understand that.
I think they're good, but I wouldn't say they should make it.
Maybe you're right. Maybe should is a little bit. Maybe they're like,
beat Rare Atom 3-2 in a BO5. Beat Chingus Warriors 2-0. Rare Atom 2-1. 9-2-0.
Yeah.
They lost to Vitality 0-2. They beat 3D Max 2-1.
Exactly, right? Yeah. So I guess you're right. Should is maybe maybe a bit of an oversell that but that's the thing, bait as well tend to have like some really solid performances, but then they'll have some games where it's like, oh
yeah, I like the skill that I see coming out of this team. Like I think there is some games where I think like the macro and the strategy side gives away, and maybe even some games where the individuals don't show up, but it's clear when they're having an on game, like the raw talent is pretty wild.
Yeah, well,
especially at this level of competition, because the last I saw him out was Bucharest as well.
But that's what we're measuring this by, right? And this is kind of where we get to start to see the threads that become stories throughout the rest of the major, because we take whatever, like our first look at the major is these teams. And sure, not everybody at home, probably our listeners will be, but not everybody at home is going to be tuning in for this. So, you know, the Miracle Run or this, or it's like Fnatic, you know, they're back in the majors and the.
Do you think Fnatic can have success here on stage one? Like this is, it's similar to what we just kind of went over. I think like Blame F should be good enough to get this team to a position to be competitive for one of the spots in stage 2.
Well, I think like there's a lot of Fnatic haters out there because of the whole Cypher situation, but I think that dampens the realistic potential of the team. I can see them in a 2-2 type game, to be honest. Like, I could also see them go like 3-1 or 3-2. 3-2 would mean they'd be in a 2-2 game. But I don't know. The bottom feels easy, right? Like, your Rare Atom, your Red Canids, your Huns, your Fluxo, probably your Imperial.
Yeah, you don't have high hopes for any of those teams. I don't have any of those teams going through.
Yeah, so Imperial, for some reason, like, we see a lot of them. Don't you feel like we see a bit of Imperial?
Yeah, but I feel like that's been the case for like Brazilian teams for like the last 3 years, is like we see a lot of these teams with relative, you know, I feel like there's like 2 or 3 Brazilian teams at like the bottom end of Brazilian CS that we see frequently, like rotating the extra spot from the region into the big events.
Sure.
Sometimes it's Fluxo, sometimes it's Imperial, sometimes it's MIBR, blah, 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 blah.
NIP's form in late has been very concerning.
Yeah, well, they had some weird roster shit recently, didn't they?
Well,
Snappy was out and then brought back.
Yeah, well, he was out for the birth of his child, but it all worked out, and then he was back. He didn't need to take the time
he
off.
probably banged in fucking February, so it's not happening. It wasn't happening.
Wasn't the major. Snappy, a man who knows when to get it past the keeper.
He's been on top of that VRS system as well, so he knows the schedule.
Yeah, but could you imagine? Oh my God, let's just think about this, everybody. Could you imagine the team that started a brand new roster earlier this year, weren't even VRS ranked, worked through the entire first season, and then got into the second, got enough points throughout the second VRS season to qualify for the major, and Snappy goes, I'm not going to the major because I'm having a kid. Could you imagine that?
It'd be so funny.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, it would. For me, it'd be funny.
No. That when you put that in contrast with the NRG thing, it kind of, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, just don't have kids, guys. What are you doing it for? You gotta look after them and shit.
Yeah, it's rough, man. You gotta keep them alive.
They smell.
Not bad.
Oh,
unless they, you know,
shit themselves. Yeah, which is what they do.
They do shit themselves.
That's their whole thing.
Quite frequently.
Yeah. I'd imagine a couple of times a day.
Yeah, like 5-6 times a day.
On your Snappy.
At the start, you know, that gets better.
Snappy could have got. Snappy's fucking Danish. He could be on 12 years paternity leave.
I know.
Leave.
I wonder if that applies in these sports organizations.
NIP would. They're pretty woke, aren't they?
Yeah, they're Swedish, right? They have to have the same thing.
Yeah,
Swedes even have parental leave for grandparents.
Actually, I think they said that Snappy's kid could even play for him at the major.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
It's like a father-in-law or something like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, their form's been concerning.
You know, even during all this rise, it's like I think it's been cool and everything, but even like during the rise, I've never like watched them and been like, all right, they're putting it together.
I just like the Kaspersky edition, right? Yeah. Like I thought that he was cool.
Nuts, yeah.
Like
he had that sick round on Train a couple of events back.
Yes, yeah. Barney Runk, he's not doing it. Very cool.
No, he's not. Which is
he ain't doing it. He ain't the source.
Was it 2 Pro League season? Maybe it was 3 where he was popping off.
Yeah.
I remember like watching a game in like the player lounge area, and all the NIP
staff
management were there and staff were there, and they're like, thank God we signed this guy for the future. Like, thank God he's the centerpiece of this team. And then like you look at it and you're like, oh, he's really gone quiet and sort of dropped off. Like he kind of felt and presented early like he was going to be like this next gen star opera.
I think like when you look at the way Snappy calls, you're not getting the AWP that often, are you?
Did the Operas and Ents have struggles? Sampaias was good.
But Sampaias was good. Like Sampaias was like, okay, boys, we've traded out, and now I'm in a 3v3, and I'm in a strong. I'm in an unusual mid-round position, and I'm ready to go, right?
And because of the nature of the way they played, he was also probably like, I have information on 2 of the 3 players, you know?
Yeah, so yeah, and that's not for everybody. Not every AWPer fits that same type of profile, right? So big Runk needs to have a good showing for them to do. But like, if we're going name value alone,
Shush is probably feeling left in the cold right now, isn't he?
yeah, well, he's what. But as far as all the heroic players go, well, we've got Teslas in Falcons. He's doing the best,
That's what I mean. Yabby over in Astralis.
and then Shush.
Stown got benched. So Shush is doing like third
Stout's
best.
taking time off.
Yeah, sorry.
Don't know what he's taking time off for. Hope he's doing all right.
That whole thing is wild to me.
Keeps happening, doesn't it?
Who else is in here? Oh, yeah.
Right now, we're just throwing shit at the wall, talking about teams in.
How Legacy? I mean, yeah, as a tier one, as a stage one team, we know they're going to pass through. But like, that's a team that I
hold your roll, Jason.
yeah.
Are you going to pick up Yanko's slack?
Man, I was on a Legacy train in Austin as well. I think they're a good team. I think they're a really good team. But like, this is my question. I think this is the major where this is the major where they have to show that they can be a threat to the top teams.
I just think if they just show consistency on the sense that they make it to stage 3, right? Because
Dude, I think this is a team I'm going to be disappointed if they don't. If they're not in the 3-3 game or the 2-2 game in stage 3, I'm going to be disappointed.
But do this. Go to stage 2, right? And look at teams in stage 2, because I think it's like Aurora, Navi, like 3D Max, like those type of guys, right? So with those names there, 8 of those names are going to join the next stage. The odd 2 teams out there, in my opinion, actually.
Here's the problem. If we want to talk about Legacy, I see 6 teams on this list that I would pick Legacy to beat. 6 of the 8 teams already in stage 2.
That's what I mean,
you know,
right?
like, yeah.
Right. And I think that's. But who are those 6? Tyler.
Yeah, well, we start from the bottom. MIBR, Tyloo, Passion, 3D Max, Astralis, Navi. I think and Liquid they can challenge. Aurora they can challenge. Aurora, like, actually, all 8 teams they could beat.
I think that people are sleeping on 3D Max. And I know why. I understand why, because their recent run has been really bad, but I think that they just had really poor season management.
Yeah, their schedule in the past like 2 months was outrageous. They had like 3 trips back to and from China, like, which is just mental.
Look, the thing is, I can justify it, but it doesn't mean it's not detrimental.
Yeah.
Right. So like the idea because they wanted to get as many points as possible, and I get it, and attend the tournament
and you stack those events because you don't know where you're going to be at.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it makes perfect sense, but it doesn't mean it's not detrimental, because when you're traveling and you're going, you don't have as much time to sit and rejuvenate the playbook and everything along those lines. And still, this is Gravity's first season in game leading too.
Yeah.
So you have to factor that in. I think the fact that they get time off now since their last event, which would have been Chengdu, which they bombed out of. Was Chengdu? Yeah, it was, because they went from Bucharest to Chengdu. They will have had,
3
a week of downtime.
Yeah.
I don't know if they will take the week of downtime, but they probably should. And then they'll have 2 weeks to gear up. And I don't think that what they delivered throughout the rest of the year/season should be wiped away because they've had a fizzled out run. It's like, everyone gets burnt out every now and again, and I'm attesting that to them. So
for sure.
I think that 3D Max, like, I understand what you're saying against Legacy. Like, if it's a best of 1 on Inferno, okay, yeah, let's go. That could go either way, right? So, I feel like Astralis
They just dropped off a cliff.
But they did make the playoffs in Chengdu. But they beat Navi and I think it was the Mongols they beat.
Let's find out.
I think it was those 2 names. But Mongols have controllers.
Yeah, Mongols and Navi.
Yeah, and then they lost to
Falcons and Vitality.
Game. Yeah, in losing to Vitality. But they took a map off Vitality. That was actually one of the more exciting playoff games that we did. I know the final, but like that was, seeing them getting some output was actually kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, we're leaking too much into stage 2 right now.
But this is the stage 1 ramification. Yeah, we're going to talk about more of it later. So yeah, but I guess what else do we get into? Because like, there's no point us going through. Well, we could go through all the head-to-head matches and say who we think's going to win each opening match.
Yeah.
But that's like, this is the worst type of podcasting. Unless we go, this segment brought to you by betting sponsor X. Remember to gamble responsibly, right? Like, that's the only reason I'd ever do that segment.
Yeah. We don't need to go into that kind of a segment,
right? Because these are best of ones opening games. No one will have played a match. Fucking Paravision played some recent Counter-Strike online, so now having to shift into LAN, it's gonna be. I'm actually excited
to see Jam and Paravision. I want to see what you've been cooking, what you've been doing over there.
It's just, for me, it's the 4 rookies, right? Because the thing is, we talk about pressure and we talk about like nerves and stuff like that. So like, the thing with like nerves, it's just, being anxious about something. It's how you're going to frame it. Are you excited, or are you nervous that you're going to fail, right? If you can channel it into excitement, which is hard, right? You're asking young men to be able to have that mental cognizance to do that. it's not easy to do.
No, but I think having James as the leader of that team is going to soften the blow of those nerves.
Well, is that because they'll get in a room beforehand and beat off? Is that what you're talking about?
That's actually not the worst idea at all.
Maybe not in the same room though.
Well, team building activity.
Jesus.
Destan's over there as well, so you got to feel comfortable with the old coach in IGO.
I missed yeah,
I did too.
Haven't seen him in a while. It'd be good to have a chat.
I started watching on the plane. I got to finish it. He released a little interview with Destan that's subtitled, obviously, and talking about like why Spirit's struggling, like talking about like building up a team, talking about a bunch of different things. It's good.
What were they saying about Spirit?
I haven't gone to that part.
Okay.
I haven't gone to that part yet.
Because I made a comment about like the reliability of the old players, Zontix and Magics, and I was reading some comments about it, and they're like, but they weren't reliable, or what is SPUNJ's definition of reliable? And I think it's just more like, I think it's hard to explain why you're doing a cast because you can't sit there and go on about it, but I think it's like their moves or their understanding of like how the macro would flow, or what you get out of them, like from a utility base. So not necessarily fragging output. That's not what I'm talking about. Was probably consistent as to what was necessary to allow Donk and Shiro to frag.
It's like I think the differences are going to be in the boring area of Counter-Strike, which is hard sometimes to point out. But it's going to be decision making and positioning of where you're rotating
not
to.
Not giving away your life, right? Not going for that.
Right. Like someone else might be rotating into a position to like go for a double kill or go for a swing when the hit comes, and Zontix is moving into a position where he can grab an off angle, get his one kill, and survive for another 5 seconds. You know, like it creates different scenarios for the other players on the team.
And I think that everybody wanted them to have a bit more punch because it felt like they were lacking in that department, which when you go player for player, you would just go, okay, like this guy's better aim, like, or, you know, Tanier can get you a more, but it's not working at the moment. And still they hadn't played a lot of Counter-Strike throughout the season, right, since the changes, because we were waylaid on the time of him joining for a plethora of different reasons, and then within it they'd only played, I think it's only 3 tournaments that they've played since he's been there. So
and then on some level there's like Zwei is really young and inexperienced.
Yeah, but this is the thing, right? Like on Amiga he was the guy.
Yeah.
Xanta was pretty good too in aggressive maneuvers too, but Zwei was kind of the guy whose aim was there, and it's like in this team it feels like, you know, you don't want to feel like, oh, I'm going to come in, I'm going to get carried, but that's kind of where it's at. It feels like, I don't know.
I mean, I think anytime you join a team with Donk, you're gonna have that feeling to a certain extent. Right? True. Like, you know, the guy's gonna get like 70% of the resources, and you know he's gonna go out and get a shit ton of kills. So you might not think it in terms of I'm gonna get carried, but you are kind of like, well, Donk's the fucking engine. Let him get his 20 kills. You know, let him get his fucking beast mode.
The thing that it was, did you see people? I think they were in China. People were recording Donk out with his girlfriend. Dude, I accidentally reposted it on Instagram because it popped up on one of the things.
Instagram is reposting now.
Yeah, and I didn't even realize it, right? Because I saw it and I was like, oh man, like look what they're doing to poor Donk, right? Like the guy's out there waiting across the road, and he's goth baddie girlfriend's like,
he's excited. He gets to bring his girlfriend with him to a new place. Yeah,
and he's getting filmed doing it, and I accidentally reposted it, and a friend of my girlfriend like messaged her and was like, Chad mean to do this? This was in German. So I said, Chad mean to this was like intentional boomer moment, or like, you know, intentional or boomer moment, I think was the thing. It's like, I didn't mean to do that. No, so I wasn't trying to put the spotlight on Donk.
No, we don't like blowing up the personal lives like that. No. That's a weird one. China's got to be a crazy place for that.
It was, but that's the thing. It's
I mean, it's going to happen to a certain extent. It's going to be a weird feeling has just like a fucking, I wonder if Donk's used to it yet.
Being a fan favorite?
Basically like a global celebrity in the Counter-Strike world. You know, like that's got to be a weird feeling as an 18-year-old having dinner with your girlfriend in China and just having videos and pictures being taken of you.
But also the whole world is a little bit less real. Like, let me try and rephrase. I think this is just their life, though. Like, I understand he went from just playing Counter-Strike in Siberia in some fucking cold dungeon to now like doing all that. But
right, but that's a huge transition. Like, that's what I mean.
It's only been 2 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it just always weirds me out because, like, that's the shit that fucks people up.
Well, yeah, that's why McConaughey Culkin or whatever, you know, it's like fucking,
He's doing great now, but there was some fucking rough years.
Some dark years, right? Yeah. Like, what was the girl, not the girl that played Hannah Montana. There was another Disney star that kind of went.
Miley Cyrus?
That's
Hannah Montana?
That was
Ariana Grande? I don't know, is she Disney? Who's the other Disney one?
I don't fucking know.
Is it Swift?
No.
Did she start as a little fucking Disney girl?
She probably did. Yeah. Yeah, I don't, either way. You know, they do go off the rack. I don't know. The concept that was different from back in our day, right, where you would be doing this on the side. This is now something that you can do as your main thing, right? And I don't know, it feels like the people at Spirit are pretty grounded.
It does. Spirit feels like actually a really good organization.
Like Constantine is a really stand-up bloke, right? Like, and he's around the team a lot.
Yep.
So I don't know.
We don't have a lot of insight into that org, but they feel from the outside to me like one of the stronger orgs in terms of how they take care of their teams and players.
Yeah, like I know a lot of people don't like the nonchalant kind of like, you know, it's not about me, it's about the team, and we win as a team, and all this kind of dialogue that comes out of them. But that is what you want from a player.
Yeah, when you're inside the team, that is the exact vibe that you want to have.
Yeah, you don't want Donk fucking now to spin his dummy and stuff, which he does do. He does rage at his teammates. I don't get it. Like, you know, you're seeing the game on a different plane than most people. So yeah, I understand that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how we'd measure it, because it's like, it's not that Donk's English is bad, but I don't imagine we could sit there and have a philosophical conversation with Donk about, like,
not philosophical, but Counter-Strike philosophy probably.
Sure.
I think his English is that.
But we're not going to talk about Donk. How do you feel that your brain has been impacted by the fact that hundreds of thousands of people in China lord over you because you're good at a video game?
Are you worried at all about the personality issues that you will have later in life because you've been a child celebrity from the age of 17 on?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
on that note, I feel like we're in a happy place to end things.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Cool.